boys, what's good? It's Herm. I'm here today to talk about the LA Lakers because they are aggressively trying to trade into the 2022 NBA draft, specifically the second round. They've looked at a bunch of different prospects, up to 10 guys they've had come work out for them, including namely Kai Sotto is a guy that they're interested in, as well as local UCLA guys, Juzang, Shareef O'Neal, as well as some other big prospects as well, like Scotty Pippen Jr. We're going to talk about all of them, break down how they would fit on the Lakers, as well as, just get more into detail about what the Lakers need and why this could, kind of help the Lakers build their roster. But before I get into it, think about subscribing. It's free, it's easy. If you don't like the content, you can always unsubscribe later. That's fine. But without further ado, let's just get into it. So, the LA Lakers will aggressively try to trade into the second round of the 2022 NBA draft. And Dan Woik of the LA Times reporting it's a safe bet the Lakers are going to make offers that include cash and or a future second rounder, and the team also figures to emerge as a popular destination for undrafted free agents. So if they can't get a second round pick, a lot of these guys that they're working out might end up signing with them as undrafted free agents, and this is great for the Lakers just because they don't have a ton of money to pass around. So if they can get good, valuable, cheap young guys, that's huge for this Lakers team. We saw how valuable Austin Reaves was for them last year as an undrafted rookie, so maybe they can strike gold again this year. But let's look at some guys they've worked out. In addition to Juzang, the Lakers have also hosted Michael DeVoe out of Georgia Tech, Louisiana Tech forward, the big man, Kenny Lofton Jr., like 6'7", 275 pounds, really big dude. Kansas guard Remy Martin, who was huge for them winning the national title this year. Villanova forward Jermaine Samuels, and Hwan Guo, I don't know, of the Shanghai Sharks. This is one that I don't think they're probably gonna do a whole lot with, but they don't have their first round pick because of the Anthony Davis trade, and then I believe this Wizards second round pick that they have is from the Bonga trade, because it says cap clearing, so I don't think it's the Russell Westbrook trade. I think it's the Bonga deal from before. But let's get a better idea of what the Lakers need. So we're looking at the Lakers roster, a little weak at the 2 and the 3 right now. LeBron is going to end up playing the 3. I don't know why ESPN doesn't have him here, but LeBron will be here. But Stanley Johnson is serviceable. Austin Reaves is alright, but not guys you necessarily want starters long term, as well as guys like Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, and Austin Reaves all hitting free agency this summer. They need depth as a big thing for them, especially big depth, as well as some, playable guards. And let me just rank these guys in order of how I think they should, kind of value them. And I think that's probably how I'm going to do it. So first, let's talk about the first prospect, the one I think they should be most interested in, Kai Sotto, really 7'3", 240 pounds, out of the Philippines, playing for Adelaide 36ers of the NBL. Ranked 83 on the top 100 prospect rank, expected to go second round undrafted. I think he's the most underrated player in this draft class. I've said this multiple times. I really like him as a prospect, but let's read the profile they got here. Kai Sotto is a tall, agile big man that is playing for Adelaide. He can rebound and block shots, and he will look to protect the paint to help his team defensively. He also has some post-up skills due to possessing deft footwork and shooting touch in the paint. He also appears to have shown an improved jump shot recently. That's the big thing to me, is that he's actually shooting like 38% from 3 in the NBL right now. Phenomenal, 50% from the field, just about the best efficiency numbers we've ever seen from an NBL prospect. So Kai Sotto at 7'3", 225, taller than a guy like Chet Holmgren, just as big basically as a guy like Jalen Duren weight-wise, is a guy that, is really mobile for a guy his size, can do a lot of different things for you, and I think it's going to be really good value just because people don't think he has quite as much experience as some of the other guys, a little bit smaller of a sample size, but talent-wise at one time in high school is putting up similar numbers to Chet Holmgren. Just hasn't gotten a ton of exposure in the NBL, only playing him 15 minutes a game. He deserves more than that. But as a guy that for the Lakers, if they get him as a second round pick, if they can trade up and get Kai Sotto in the second round, I think this would be great and would be a guy that would be huge depth-wise for your big men going forward. Maybe could eventually start next to Anthony Davis in the front court. Second guy that I think they should look into, Juzang out of UCLA, the star of the tournament, not this year, but the year before. 6'6", 215 pounds out of UCLA. I would say he's probably like a small forward, shooting guard, small forward type player. Just a natural scorer of the basketball. Second round to undrafted, where he's projected right now. Athletic, energetic swingman that helped lead UCLA to get to the 2021 NCAA tournament. And after transferring from Kentucky, he's receiving regular playing time. He can score the basketball in a variety of ways. He had a shaky combine showing last year, but I think he'll be a second-round pick. Just a natural scorer of the basketball. Just we've seen it in college, can score a lot of different ways, whether it be off the dribble, whether it be catch and shoot, taking guys one-on-one. There's just many different ways that Juzang can score, and I think he's going to be a good scorer at the NBA level as well. Just feels like a guy that can come off the bench and be kind of a pop spark plug kind of scorer that would be a nice fit for any team. And the Lakers need some more, willing scorers off the bench. I think Juzang would be a good fit there. Thirdly, we got Kenny Lofton Jr. out of Louisiana Tech, 6'7", 275. Is ranked 78th by Scouting Live, but will be a second-round pick in my opinion. Just really slimmed down a little bit throughout the year. In college was a little big, for my liking was a little too big, but slimmed down at the combine, ran pretty decently, didn't have a bad combine at all. Strong, mobile big man that excels at scoring and rebounding in the paint. Like Sotto, it fills the Lakers' need for big men. Big men is a huge need for the Lakers right now. With Dwight Howard getting minutes is really an old guy. JaVale McGee they really relied upon on their championship run, but they just don't really have that kind of production from the big men spots anymore. And he played very well in the 2021 U19 World Cup. I think he's one of the best players on the team. So really big, dominant big man, physical, isn't afraid to get dirty in the post, throw some elbows around, finish through contact at the rim, all that good stuff. Is a guy that I think will end up being better than people think, just because, they judge him based on what he looks like, but he's going to be a good player. Remy Martin out of Kansas, ranked 98th here, second round to undrafted, so maybe they even get him if they don't get a pick. But is a guy that I believe played for Arizona State for a good amount of his career, ended up transferring to Kansas and being a big part of them winning the national championship as a guy off the bench who just came in as a scorer. Good passer, good scorer, athletic, skilled playmaker that can score the basketball in a variety of ways, scoring strong drives to the hoop, and he can also knock down spot-up threes to space the floor for his team. It's just one of those backup point guards you like to see, and maybe for the Lakers can be the guy Kendrick Nunn, they thought Kendrick Nunn would be, didn't end up being, didn't really play for them. But Remy Martin, I think, can be a kind of a stabilizing force off the bench as a backup point guard, and it will be good value as an undrafted guy because we've seen him do it at the highest college level. And lastly, but not least, we got Shareef O'Neal, son of Shaq. The Lakers, this kind of seems like more of like a gratuitous kind of work out more than anything else, just because Shaq is one of the best players in Lakers history. But they brought Shareef O'Neal in, and the biggest thing with O'Neal here is that he had a really bad heart condition that caused him to miss a lot of time in college, was kind of well recruited out of high school, ended up being at LSU his second year after UCLA his first year, but is just a guy that I think if he can get on the court and stay on the court can be a really solid player. We've seen NBA guys go through kind of heart issues similar to what he had. Jeff Green had a really bad heart issue and has come back and had a stable career after that. Highly touted recruit that played for UCLA before transferring for LSU, but didn't get much playing time. But he managed to score an invite to the 2022 G League Elite Camp, and he played better than expected there. And I think that's a big thing. Solid athleticism, emerging face-up game, and he also rebounded and defended much better than anticipated. So if he can be a surprising, kind of value guy as an undrafted player that's actually, maybe like a first-round talent, but we just didn't get to see him in college because of all the, the health stuff, I think it would be a huge win for the Lakers to get this guy on the team, just because the upside with Shareef O'Neal seems really, really high and higher than people might have expected, a guy that they should be looking into. But if I'm going to rank him, Kai Sotto is who the Lakers should be most interested in, a big man who can space the floor, finish inside, play good defense, just seems to do just about everything well in a pretty small sample size, but a guy that I like a lot is going to be a good NBA player. Johnny Juzang at 2, just a natural gifted scorer, would be a great scoring piece off the bench for the Lakers, could average 10 plus as a rookie. Kenny Lofton Jr. out of Louisiana Tech, not LSU, is my third guy, is just a physical, strong, bully you kind of guy. Just feels like a kind of mentality that the Lakers don't have right now that I think every team needs. Remy Martin, stabilizing point guard off the bench, probably an undrafted guy, but could be a nice point guard off the bench for them. I also like Scotty Pippen Jr. as a point guard off the bench because, you know, averaged a ton of points for a Vanderbilt team that wasn't all that good. But I think either of those guys would be great backup point guards, you know, because I just don't think none's going to work out there. It seems unlikely he's there next year. But then Shareef O'Neal, my fifth guy, kind of the mystery guy, because I think the upside there is really high. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know who you think the Lakers should go after. I think all these guys are pretty good options if the Lakers are going to go after one. And at least Sotto, Juzang, and Lofton are worth trading into the second round to get. The other guys I think are more kind of undrafted options. But let me know your thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I think I'm going to hit 2,000 today, so I really appreciate all the support with the subscribers. That's huge to me, so thank you very much. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate the support. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace.